Hello, what's up guys, I'm Kyle from KGR, and it's time for another retrospective because I did one last week for the GameCube, and I kind of had fun doing that. Unfortunately, I feel like my quality for the retrospective itself wasn't very good for last week, so I apologize for that. But hopefully this week will be better. This week, I'm going to be talking about the DSi, and I have a feeling it's going to be better because I actually remember a lot more shit about it, because it's not that old. Some of you probably be all like, why don't you talk about the Game Boy Color or Game Boy or start with the original DS or something? Why don't we just start with the DSi? Because I have a lot of fond memories with the DSi itself. So when the thing came out here, I started with a DS Lite, and I broke that thing I don't know how many times when I had it. But I think when the DSi came out, I broke it a second time. And here I remember before I even heard about the DSi, one of my friends, Jess, who wasn't into gaming at all, like she just found out about it somehow. She's like, hey, did you hear about the DS? It's gonna have a camera on it. I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? So I look it up and yeah, it turns out that's a legit thing. So of course Nintendo hype had to happen, so I got excited. And then my friend Derek on the bus, he managed to get one before I did, and it was cool. It was really cool. I didn't get to touch it because it was his unit. I'm like, you know what, man? You have fun with it. You do you. I'll stick with my DS Lite. So, income tax season came. I didn't have a job. I was only 15 at the time, so I couldn't even get a job. And normally when I break my DS Lite, I always send it in to get it fixed. But this time, well, we didn't do that. When I got my DSi, it was like a month, I think, after it came out or something like that. Like, it was still relatively new. I remember me and my parents, we went to the mall. We went to Sears first, and here, you know how they have those TVs like showing off, oh, look at this movie, look how glorious it looks on this TV, you should buy it. Here, one of the TVs inside Sears was showing off a video explaining about the DSi. It wasn't one of those hype videos like the Nintendo Switch's like initial launch. No, it was like one of those videos that really explains everything. I call it a video manual. Like, this thing went in depth about what the DSi was capable of. And I'm sitting there staring at this TV like probably drooling. I don't know. I'm pretty confident I didn't blink. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, I need this thing. Mom, why are we here? I am torturing myself looking at this thing. I originally had no idea why we went to the mall. I just know, hey, we're going to the mall. I'm like, okay. Sears is connected to the mall, by the way. So anyway, then we go into the mall after we have our little fun field trip in Sears, and we go into Babbage's. Now, for some of you who don't know what Babbage's is, it's GameStop, but Babbage's got bought out, and some of them seem to not have changed their sign. They're just gonna keep it at Babbage's because nostalgia? I don't know. So anyway, we go into Babbage's, and I'm looking at games, I'm distracted, I'm having a great time. And then I turn around, and it turns out my mom is buying me a DSi. Now, here's the thing. My birthday was still a few months away. Christmas was nowhere close. So I have no idea what I did to deserve a DSi. It's not like I got any good grades. I was in high school. Your parents don't give you things for good grades when you're in high school. I think if anything, they should reward you for not being a delinquent or something. I don't know. But I was always a good kid, so it was all good. So anyway, I got my DSi, and I wanted to turn on so bad, but you know the rule with lithium batteries, you gotta charge it, but as soon as you get it, you can't power it on immediately. Wait, we get my DSi, and then we end up going to Long John Silver's, and I grub, I have a good time, and I'm sitting there looking at the box for the DSi, and I'm like, God, oh God, this is torture. I want to play this thing so bad, and it was getting late, so I couldn't have too much fun with it, but because, you know, school. So later I get home, and I'm taking pictures, I'm having a wonderful time, but here's the thing, this is not the first time that I took pictures with Nintendo Handheld. I had the Game Boy camera back when I was a kid. I was in middle school, I think? I can't remember when I got the Game Boy camera. I remember I got it at the flea market, at the game stand that I work at now. But at the time I wasn't working there, but I got it and I was like, oh my god, this thing is so cool. The camera quality was absolute shit, but I had a wonderful time with it, and I showed it to my friend Brett, because at the time he was like my bestest friend ever, and he wanted it. He wanted to give me his prepaid cell phone for my my Game Boy camera. I'm like, no way, no how. At first you think about it like, God, it's stupid, but we couldn't afford to pay a phone bill, or you couldn't like pay for me to have a phone? Like, no. I'd rather have a freaking Game Boy camera. Screw you. So anyway, I ended up getting really into taking pictures. Like, I took pictures of all my friends. I took pictures of my Sonic figures. Like, I had a great time with this thing. This thing was absolutely great. And when you got the DSi at launch, you were given 1,000 points in store credit, so you could spend it on online games or whatever, like little downloadable games that you can get for your DSi. But you can only do it like around the launch. So I went to my friend's house and I redeemed it because I didn't have Wi-Fi at my house. So I redeemed it there, and I ended up downloading Dr. Mario and WarioWare Snapped. I had a terrible time getting WarioWare Snapped to work because you needed good lighting. And I did not have good lighting at all. Now I kind of do. I mean, look at my recording setup. But still, I had a wonderful time. Like, it sucks that you couldn't play Game Boy games on it anymore, but I still love the DSi to death. Like, it's probably one of my favorite handhelds of all time. I would get into games that I loved for the thing, but I really don't want to do that. Like, I would talk about my whole library of DS games, but that's fucking stupid. But my favorite game on the thing was probably Pokemon Heart Gold. Over time, you got updates, and I would check out stuff online and yada yada yada. Because here, I didn't have a computer at the time either, and here I found out my neighbor's Wi-Fi many years after I got my DSi. So originally, all I could do was just play games, and that's pretty much about it. And, you know, play with the camera, play with the music. Which, by the way, the music player on the DSi sucked ass because you had to convert your MP3s into M4As or MP4s or something, and it was a big pain in the ass because here with the 3DS, you just plug in an MP3 and you're good to go. Why the DSi couldn't just have a software update to fix that, I don't know. So I would use my neighbor's computer, and I would just convert a crap ton of songs or whatever, and it'd be a big pain in the ass, but I had to listen to music. And what sucks is the volume on the DSi sucked ass. So I would try to listen to my music on the bus, and it'd be kind of quiet compared to everybody else, but I still needed to listen to my music because I couldn't afford an iPod back then either. I worked with what I got. And there's a bunch of filters in the DSi camera that I had so much fun with. You know how kids have fun with Snapchat? I had that much fun, even more fun most likely, with the filters on the DSi. Then eventually my friend Taylor got one. We went to the Park City Mall, and we got his, and he was super excited. And we opened it up in the Apple Store, and we set up the Wi-Fi so you could download a bunch of things a while, because at the time we didn't know his Wi-Fi yet, because his dad kept it a secret for some dumb reason. I remember when I first discovered Flipnote Studio. Flipnote Studio is probably the main thing that sells the DSi. Which, fun fact, if you don't have Flipnote Studio 3D on your 3DS, because you didn't get it through Club Nintendo, it's not too late. Here, my Nintendo is actually having that as a reward now. So if you don't have it, you just earn a couple of points and just redeem it there, and you're good to go. Anyway, Flipnote Studio. Oh my god, Flipnote Studio. Like, I didn't have a computer at the time, so I didn't have YouTube. So Flipnote Studio was the only thing I had, and I had the best time with it. My favorite animator on Flipnote Studio was Gizmo, and I want to know what he's up to now. Here I know somebody, like, at least I used to know somebody on like Skype and Twitter or whatever. He's like another content creator on YouTube. Here he like was really into Flipnote Studio, and I'm pretty confident he would probably tell me something like how he knows Gizmo somehow. I don't know. He'd probably give me some bullshit story. So Flipnote Studio meant a lot to people. Like here, I made a video talking about Flipnote Studio 3D. Made a couple of videos, and how it's not here yet, and what's going on with it. And I remember I got so many views and so many comments on those videos. But those videos were fucking cringe. I think that was before I even rebranded it to Kyle's Game Room either. I can't remember. Anyway, I made a few cartoons myself. It wasn't anywhere as good as what other people were making, but I still had a wonderful time doing it. And here's the funniest story out of my whole DSi retrospective. Here, back then, when MySpace was still the in thing. Again, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and this is before I found out my neighbor's Wi-Fi password. Here I had another neighbor that lived across the street. But if I wanted to check my MySpace, I had to go out at the end of the driveway on the road, and we live on a very busy road. Like, we live right next to the highway, so there's cars zooming back and forth by my house all the time, so it's dangerous. I would be out there in the middle of winter, okay? like it's snowing or it's raining or something and it's very, very cold, I am out there shivering, checking my MySpace. And my other neighbor's Norris Justin, well, I think it was just Norris. No, I think it was just, yeah, it was just Norris. He wanted to check his MySpace too, and he didn't have internet. He had a computer, but he didn't have internet. So he would be out there with me. After I check my MySpace, I log out and I let him log in, and we both freeze to death checking our MySpaces. And then eventually, over time, I ended up finding out my neighbor's Wi-Fi password. But I couldn't reach it from my house perfectly. Here outside my room, there is a window, okay? Here I have to open up the window a little bit. Like, I guess there's like two windows. One's a storm window and one's a regular window or something like that. I have to open up the one, okay? And I would have to lean my DS toward the right of the window, not perfectly to the right, maybe like an inch away from the wall on the right, and had to stand it up in a certain position so I would get one bar. That is how I checked everything, my email, my MySpace, and I eventually got Facebook, because eventually Facebook integrated with the DSi, so you could upload pictures directly from the DSi camera to Facebook. If it wasn't for the DSi, I probably wouldn't have a Facebook as early as I got it. You know what's funny? You can log into MySpace with your Facebook or Twitter. I want to know how many people still have a MySpace. Oh my god. Okay, here I was at work with my boss and I told him about that. So he ended up getting on MySpace and found me. And he said how he saw me grow up all over again. It was great. Because here, the guy I work with, Josh, he's known me since I was a very, very young lad. He's seen me grow up and now I work with him. But in the past, he was an asshole. He still kind of is. But he's like a brutally honest person. He doesn't care about your feelings. He'll let you know the truth, and it hurts, but he's looking out for me. So I don't know if I should say I appreciate it, or if he should learn how to be more sensitive. I don't know. But anyway, my point is he's been in my life almost my whole life, and the fact that I didn't invite him to graduation kind of sucks. He probably wanted what anyway. I don't know. Still, we're talking about the DSi. I'm talking about my other shit in my life now. God. Eventually, when I got into high school, I found out what an R4i cartridge is. And that is when I stopped buying quite a few DS games. I ended up rebuying some of the games I had on there anyway, because I wanted Club Nintendo points and stuff, and plus, I liked having a little bit of a library. But I still have an R4 to this day. Then eventually, I think my friend Ricky got one as well. Yeah, I think Ricky ended up getting one before Taylor, I think. I got the black one, he got the blue one. I can't remember what color Taylor got. Remember I wanted a white one, because I got a white DS Lite, but the white wasn't an option at launch. And then later that summer, that's when the white one came out, and I was so mad. And now I just go with black everything, because it matches my soul. But honestly, I have a hard time guessing what do I love more, the DSi or the original 3DS, because there's something about the original 3DS I love so much. But I think I'm going to be more nostalgic for the DSi, because I have a lot more memories with it. Eventually, I did upgrade to a DSi XL because my friend Brandon ended up getting me one. But I still love my original 3DS so much. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. So if you're new and you like what you saw, then you know what to do. Let me know in the comments, do you have fond memories with the DSi? I'm pretty confident a lot of you who do have fond memories are going to be talking about Flipnote Studio. I don't want to say that Flipnote Studio was the selling point of the DSi. But for those who had it and had Flipnote Studio has, I want to call it an underground cult following. Not a lot of people talk about Flipnote Studio, but as a guy who made videos talking about Flipnote Studio, I saw how many people still love it to this day. Anyway, I need to end this video, so I don't want to say like and subscribe and shit all over again. However, in the description there's my P.O. box and my social medias and stuff, so if you want to add me on all of them, by all means, that'd be super freaking rad. And again, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite memories with the DSi? That's going to be it for this video, guys. So, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the greatest. And if you want to see more of these retrospectives, again, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and get to them. I can't say next week, because I do have a bunch of videos that I do want to do. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the greatest, and I'll see y'all in the next one.